As far as preseason games go, this one was actually kind of fun. Like, I really enjoyed seeing our young Summer League squad back out there again. They got the gang back together, and although they lost 111 to 108, it was nice seeing those guys back together because you can tell they really get along, and the Heat have a nice, young, promising core with those guys. Even in the offseason, the Heat social media department has been on fire, and in a lot of the clips that they've been posting, you're seeing that squad hang out together with Kashad and Kel'el and Isaiah Stevens and Josh Christopher. So those guys like a lot, and I am excited to see what they can contribute this year, which might not be a lot because it's clear how deep this Miami Heat team is. I mean, we learned a lot today, even though it was just a preseason game. So I guess we'll start from the jump. We learned a couple days ago that Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez would miss the game with groin injuries. Of course, it's frustrating, particularly with Tyler Hero, because he has a lot of injury concerns, and you had Pat Riley call him fragile, and now here you are, first preseason game, and Hero was hurt. But Spoelstra acknowledged that, and he said, listen, I know what the narrative is. It's sort of just a precautionary thing. He'll be all right. Jaime Jaquez will be all right, which I hope so, because Jaime missed some time last season with the groin injury, and he really wasn't the same since he came back, but it sounds like they'll be okay. So will Josh Richardson, who's just he's a short ways away from returning from his shoulder injury last season, according to Erik Spoelstra. But the biggest thing we learned today is we pretty much got confirmation of what the starting lineup will be, or at least what Spoelstra plans on it being, and they certainly didn't do anything to change his mind negatively today. And of course, that lineup will be what the Heat ended last season with, healthy, which was like 2 games. But it will be Terry Rozier at the 1 spot. It will be Tyler Hero at the 2. Today, he was filled in by Alec Burks. And then, of course, you got Jimmy at the 3, Jovic at the 4, and then Bam to round it out on the 5. Although Bam ain't looking like a center no more. That boy is pulling from the 3-point line, and it brought tears to my face because I used to pray for times like this, man. As Bam Adeabyo today, I think, knocked down a couple. He was 2 of 5 from the 3-point line. And by the way, that's after he went 5 of 11 from 3 in the red, white, and pink scrimmage yesterday. So that was a big story of the game. But outside of that, the starting unit played pretty well. They played how you'd expect. We'll kind of talk about each individual guy once we go through the box score. And then you got the second unit, which was with Kevin Love and Haywood Highsmith and Pelle Larsson, who really stole the show in that second unit. And for some reason, we got Drew Smith. Why? I don't know. I don't get it. We'll get into him as well. And then eventually you got the last guys with Thomas Bryant and then your Summer League squad. So let's go ahead and go through the box score here so we can kind of talk about everyone a little bit, because I think everyone had some pretty positive moments. Starting with Jimmy Butler, who finished with 11 points tonight. Most importantly, he killed my parlay. They had him at 10 points on the anonymous player prop betting app that doesn't sponsor me, so I won't say their name. And I'm thinking, Jimmy, he don't try in the regular season. He ain't gonna try in the preseason. And sure enough, I had him under 10. He finished with 11. And I knew it was going to be a bad beat because I could tell they wasn't going to play the second half. And all I needed for him was to miss one more free throw or miss one more bucket or anything. But y'all don't care about my problems. I'll make it back because I certainly got some money on the Panthers. And boy, do they look good today. But we'll get into that maybe a little bit later too. Shout out to Florida Panthers. I guess I should look up the score because for all I know, they could have blown the lead that they were in. But no, right now the Panthers are up 5-2 with 15 minutes to play. So shout out to the Panthers. We'll do that right now. No championship hangover for them. But anyways, Jimmy Butler, we expect him to be more serious this season, hopefully play more games, and not much we learned about him tonight, but obviously I'm excited to see how he does. Moving on, you got Nikola Jovic. The reason I'm hyped to see him is because they said that he officially weighed in at 240 pounds. Maybe he came in as a rookie at 140. I actually think it was like 218 or something. But obviously he put on over 20 pounds since being a rookie. Obviously, that's expected, some of it, because he was 19 years old. He was still in high school, actually, when he came over to the NBA. But still, he looks very great out there. And obviously, I think that added size will help him defensively because he was pretty solid defensively tonight as well. Got you a steal there. But he's been doing a better job staying in front of his men laterally. And obviously, if he plays the 4 spot, he'll be matched up to some bigs at times, especially when Bam is rotated out to guards on the perimeter. Jovic is going to have to pick up guarding the centers on on the other team, and just being 240 will certainly help that a lot. And very clearly, he's the best fit in that starting lineup in between Jimmy and Bam because he can stretch the floor. He was 1 of 2 on there today. He's a great ball handler, excellent in transition, and we even saw him do a beautiful driving kick to Bam earlier, so they got some great chemistry. And man, the 3-point shooting by Bam Adeabyo, I do not want to overstate how excited that gets me. Now, I always say this, you should temper expectations because, yeah, he's shooting some threes, but it doesn't mean he's going to turn into Steph Curry or Duncan Robinson. No, he'll probably end up taking 2 to 3 threes a game at most, maybe making 1. But it's the impact of just taking those 2 to 3 attempts that I think is massive, because he quite literally went from starting last season taking no threes to now coming into this season taking a few. And that will be enough. Whether he's hitting or not, that will be enough to stretch out the defense enough to allow so much more space inside for him to attack, for him to find other guys cutting back door, like Pelle Larsson we saw today, like Nikola Jovic we saw today. That will allow driving lanes for Jimmy and Bam and Tyler Hero. And now Bam's doing it from everywhere. It's not just the top of the key like we saw a little bit last year. He hit a couple corner 3-point shots today. We saw Bam do that in the Olympics, and it's clear that he now fully has the trust of Eric Spoelstra to take that shot. And I think it will be amazing for this Heat offense. I really can't understate that enough. And he was great everywhere else today. 13.6 boards for him. He did get his signature midi today too. I imagine we'll get annoyed at some point in the season that he's falling in love with the jump shot a bit too much. I do think the next step for Bam is finding a good balance between being aggressive, using his athleticism, and also shooting threes. So I guess if you want to temper your expectations, it should be there. Still needs to find a better balance. But at the two spot, we did see Alec Burks today, 8 points for him, 3 of 3 shooting, hit a couple of 3-pointers. He obviously is a very decent player, has always been an excellent shooter. Will he be a rotation piece? I'm not sure, because of guys coming off the bench, you're going to have to choose between him and Duncan Robinson and Josh Richardson, and who knows if they play Drew Smith. And obviously Isaiah Stevens is great, so it might be tough, but he'll find his moments throughout the year, whether guys are injured or the Heat need more scoring, and he is a reliable player. That's what we saw tonight. And then at the point guard spot, nice to see Scary Terry back after his scary neck injury last season. He did just get cleared recently, so I'm going to hope he was just rusty today because he wasn't great. Got just 7 points, but it was on 10 shots. But we know what Terry brings. He's obviously a dynamic scorer. Now we're moving on to the bench. Pelle Larsson. As people always said I pronounce his name wrong. I used to say Pelle. Now I think it's Pelle. So we'll call him Pelle. Pelle Larsson today, 10 points and 2 assists on 4 or 5 shooting. Looked very smart out there, cutting beautifully, moving without the ball to get open 3-pointers. Really did a little bit of everything, and that's what I loved most about him from his summer league. Is I didn't feel like he did anything great, but I feel like he did a lot of things very, very well. And the fact that he's able to do that as a rookie, albeit a 4-year college guy, shows me that he has the potential to be an exceptional all-around player in just a couple of seasons. Because in Summer League, same thing we saw today, he's very decent at playmaking, defending 1 through 3, can obviously hit a spot-up jump shot, knows how to move without the ball, and we saw a lot of that today. So shout out to Pelle Larsson, and I'm pretty sure he has locked down a spot in the rotation just because he did get in early today and played a decent amount of minutes. Got you almost 16 minutes there tonight. Then you got Drew Smith. He finished today with 5 points, 2 assists on 1 of 4 shooting. I'm trying to give Drew Smith a chance. I really am. It's no secret I'm not his biggest fan, but really nobody is. I know maybe 1 or 2 people that like Drew Smith, so I'm not alone here. But clearly, the Heat see something in him, so I'm trying to see it too. Now, I was a little bit moved now that he cut his hair. I said, hey, maybe haircut Drew Smith will be better. It's okay. They say that the reason they like Drew Smith is because he makes no mistakes. Well, yeah, that's because he does nothing. Hard to make mistakes when you do nothing. And I understand for a pretty, not top-heavy team, but for a team that has some pretty good reputation guys on it, like Jimmy, Bam, Terry, Tyler, like guys that you know can score, a nice compliment piece to that is a guy that just doesn't mess up. but I feel like they can do better than that. A guy like Isaiah Stevens is also pretty low mistake, but he also can run an offense very well. I understand Drew Smith might be a better defender because of the size, but regardless, we'll see what Drew Smith brings this season, and hopefully it's not a lot of minutes. Moving on, Haywood Highsmith got some pretty good defense from him today, although he didn't score. I do think he will be a part of this rotation, though, come regular season. Same with Duncan Robinson, who, although he didn't hit a three-pointer today in 4 attempts, did show the versatility. He had a beautiful, full-court bounce pass to Haywood Highsmith, who found Pelle Larsson on the fast break. The fast break game was very nice today. Some of that with Nikola Jovic, too. We know how he likes to push pace in transition. I think that was a point of emphasis for this team in the offseason because, obviously, they were terrible in the fast break last year. So it was nice to see them convert today, and obviously Duncan with the amazing pass. Duncan had another nice Kyrie-esque crafty layup today, so I love seeing the versatility from Duncan Robinson. If he can give us exactly what he did last season, I'm super happy with him. Surprisingly, Kevin Love did get some minutes. I thought they'd give the old man a little bit of rest, but he did go out there, do what you expect him to do. I'm curious to see if he's on any sort of maintenance plan come this season. And then Thomas Bryant played, got you 5 boards or 5.7 rebounds, which was interesting because he didn't, or because he played over Kel'el Ware, which was a bit of a talking point, but I don't think that'll be for long because Kel'el Ware came in and got you 13 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. They only have him for 4 blocks. I think he had a lot more than that, and he did hit you a 3-pointer, had a mid-range shot, so showed the versatility. I don't think he'll play a lot in the regular season. Maybe this game gets Spoelstra thinking a little bit, but as Brendan Tobin posted this hilarious meme earlier that says Spo with rookie guards and then Spo with rookie bigs, and you can see it's Gordon Ramsay there basically not liking them. Y'all can see the meme if you're watching the video. But yeah, that does seem to be a tendency with Eric Spoelstra. He'll play his rookie guards like Jaime Jaquez and Tyler Hero, but then you got the bigs like Bam Adeabyo and Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic, I guess, is a big too. They don't tend to play as much as rookies, but we'll see what happens because Kel'el Ware was pretty phenomenal today, although he did miss the game-tying 3-point shot at the end. But as far as the other young guys, y'all know Keshad Johnson's my boy. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Buy all the Keshad Johnson stock because it's only going up from here. He has 6 points today, some great hustle plays, diving on the floor, did hit a 3-pointer, bricked the other. But hey, that's what you're going to get with Keshad. That's still my boy, though. Like I said, love the man. And Caleb Daniels, he's a pretty decent defender. Got some 9 boards today from the rebound position, something he did in the Summer League as well. He won't make the official roster, but he'll be a nice developmental piece in Sioux Falls and maybe end up on a roster someday. Same with Josh Christopher, who did get you 5 points, 5 rebounds, and Isaiah Stevens, who got you 2 points and 3 assists. I think Isaiah Stevens has a better chance to make the last two-way spot and replace Drew Smith, as we've been talking about. But I'm not sure where the Heat's head is at because they clearly either love Drew Smith or Drew Smith has blackmail on the front office. I have no idea. But either way, I like the rest of the guys. Well, obviously, Josh Christopher's already on a two-way, but we won't see him this regular season unless guys are hurt, I suppose. As far as the Charlotte Hornets side, LaMelo Ball did ball out. He's a great player. Hope he stays healthy. And then their rookie, Tajon Salon, was pretty great also. 15 points and 8 boards for him. Shout out Trey Mann. That boy is good too. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say for the Heat game. I'll be having plenty of more videos before the regular season starts. Their next game was actually postponed because of Hurricane Milton. As you can see, don't got the normal setup. I had to dip from Fort Myers because it's not going to be pretty over there. I'm very likely losing power tomorrow. And hopefully not also my roof again, like I did during Ian. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to be over here chilling in Fort Lauderdale for the next few days, and we'll see how that goes. But if you are getting affected by Hurricane Milton, like myself, keep in mind, I will be too. Praise out to all of y'all. I hope that we all make it through it. But anyways, we talked about the Florida Panthers. Shout out to them. They still up 5-2, it looks like. And then I also want to talk about my fresh cut. If y'all didn't notice, because y'all know every time I come back to Fort Lauderdale, specifically the Davie area, I got to go see my boy Frank over at Cut Sesh, who cuts out of the Players Lounge in Davie. If y'all want the freshest cut in Broward/Miami, make sure you hit up my boy Frankie. I got all his socials in the description below. Once again, he cuts out of these Players Lounge in Davie. So go hit him up. tell him I sent you, and my boy will hook you up. He'll get you looking right for this Halloween season coming up. But that's all I got to say for this video. So make sure y'all share your thoughts down below, and let me know who you're most excited to watch going into this regular season. Of course, I'll be coming with content along the way. So subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.